Got
All
it.
right, welcome Ode community. We're back for another very exciting interview. Today we have your famous best Ode to date, Sarah Moore.
What's up, guys? Hey, Zach.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Probably getting sick of me, I think.
No, I can never get sick of you, right?
Well, I hope not, because I'm not going away. So
There's probably a lot of hours coming with you, so
I hope so.
can't get sick yet, right? Yes, I mean, I guess, most of I think Ode community knows you, but how about we'll start with is there one thing the Ode community doesn't know about you yet?
Probably not. I'm pretty open book. I don't know. That's a good one. That wasn't on the previous questions. That was all practiced up too. I don't know. Well, maybe they don't know I'm starting at Oak Flats this year.
Okay.
That's the new
So
one.
why'd you pick did you pick Oak Flats?
Yeah, I picked it.
All right, why?
Not due to Tad's elaborate analysis, although I do think he has something there. I did test it out from the Oak Flats location. I've done the Yellow Gate. I've done Overlooked, which was fun last year. I do think each spot has its unique pros and cons and allures for different reasons. But I'm looking forward to trying out a new location just to, change it up and keep it fresh and exciting. And it's like a different race when you have a different location. So I think that's gonna be fun. Some people might be scared about the transition or have questions about it. I know I've talked to a few new runners and people that are not really clear, even though Tad spells it out very well in his race guide. It may be a little daunting to those who are going to a different location and planning on going through the night. But I say if you're coming to Oak Flats, it's going to be a party. We're going to bring the tunes and the energy, and we're going to make it to the night, and then we'll all get to join up. And I think that's a fun part about the Ode too, is the communities merging in the night. So I'm looking forward to that.
And for us that don't know, what data are you talking about? That's Oak Flats data or analysis?
Okay, so Tad went through and kind of gave a number rating for different elements. Perception of effort, I think, is a big one. And from Oak Flats, I think the course is technically or feels easier if you run it from that location as opposed to the other two.
Just you're taking the easy way out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
No, actually, I wanted to show that it doesn't matter where you start.
Because you can win from all three locations.
Right. That's the goal.
So, I mean, obviously, you're a very experienced backyard racer now, right? Several years doing this specifically. Do you think your training is different or the same when you maybe say do a 100-mile race, flat 100-mile mountain race versus a backyard race? Is there anything you do specifically different?
No, I still drink a lot of Claws, making sure I stay hydrated. I think the beauty of the backyard is it's just, you need to diversify your training, really. You can't just do one thing. You can't just do road. You need strength. So pretty much just doing a little bit of everything and remembering to keep it fun. I think that's also the beauty of the backyard is that it's just about the social for me, hanging out with friends for as long as possible. And I think the biggest change in my training has been more on the mental side. Getting my mind stronger has been the focus. And the only way to do that is to experience hard things and kind of put yourself through suffering. So lately I've been trying to beat myself up in the heat, at night. I don't know, just looking for things, for nasty, cruel things to do, that type 2 type of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned heat and sleep. So, I mean, or nighttime. So let's start there. So the heat. So, I mean, this race is be the earliest it's been. Well, I mean, it's basically middle of July, right? In previous years, it has been probably later in the year, right? So, do you expect the heat to play a bigger factor this year?
Oh, for sure. And I think the bugs are also going to be an issue. So kind of just getting mentally prepared for it to be hard. I think the biggest piece of advice that I've recently learned, or I read it in a book, it's about perception of effort, or about not underestimating how hard it's going to be. So if you show up and you think, oh, it's going to be a breeze, and then it suddenly smacks you in the face how hard it is, and you're like, oh shoot, I didn't plan for it to be like this, and you're already defeated. But if you show up knowing it's going to be hard, knowing the bugs are going to piss you off, that the heat's going to melt you, and you just, when it comes, you're like, oh, yep, this is here now, you can tackle it better. So I guess just getting mentally prepared for that heat of the day, knowing it'll pass, and we'll see, one lap at a time.
Okay, so transitioning to the nighttime, maybe I won't ask the normal question of what's your strategy, but maybe the question could be, given the increase in lap counts from other backyard races, have you seen certain strategies from a nighttime perspective that you might lean towards or not do?
Sleep is key, and if you can't sleep, at least rest. And you should be doing that early and as much as possible. As much as I do like the party in the night, I think I'm going to be a little more dedicated to shutting off this year, because I know it's gonna require all of the focus and mental, what is it, acuity? Is that the word I'm looking for? But yeah, you want your mind to be in the game more than anything, because as soon as that gets fatigued, everything else starts to crumble. So,
is there a certain amount of sleep you're looking for, or a certain amount of resting time you're looking to try to hit between laps?
I guess it depends on how the laps go, but I would hope to average 50-minute loops and spend 5 minutes or 6 minutes, as much as I can, resting or closing my eyes at least. And that's all you really need. I recently watched as Steve Slabby crushed the Capitol backyard. That was pretty cool. And listened to his podcast with Matt B. Davis, and he's got that whole strategy down. So if you haven't listened to that one, it's a really good, gives all the tips and tricks that obviously work. So I'm gonna try. I haven't been successful with sleep in the past, but maybe it was just the excitement, the adrenaline. I get FOMO, so I don't like missing things. And it's like a curse of being the youngest, I guess. I never liked to go to bed as a kid, and I still don't. So maybe that's a benefit too, because you look at the Suffolk backyard with Matthew, what's his name, Blackburn, and it sounds like he didn't sleep at all, and they went 3.5 days. So, I mean, obviously it'd be nice to sleep, but if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna roll with it and embrace the sleeplessness and getting weird.
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds relevant. It's very interesting. I feel like, be a mathematician here for a second, I guess, but I feel like it was a very linear trend. Like we were backyards were always going longer and longer and longer, maybe like a linear trend. And then I feel like this year, maybe let's get out, getting out of COVID, I feel like it's just blown up. Like I feel like the numbers are just skyrocketing. Every race is beating the previous record or going longer and longer than anybody would think. So I guess that's just my observation. Are you observing the same thing? And maybe another question might be, do you have any reason why that might be happening as a veteran in this backyard world?
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about knowing it can be done. So watching other people's performances, like when I saw Maggie win Bigs in 2019, it just lit something inside of me. And she'll forever be my initial inspiration to want to get out there and see how far I could go. And then people start getting curious. So once they start seeing Courtney throwing down, winning the next year, and then these other side backyards that aren't even bigs, doing the same, going long and setting records, it's exciting, and you want to be part of it. So more and more people are jumping on the bandwagon, and I think also learning the strategy, or learning the mind game of not setting that number. So don't have a goal, really, just see when you truly collapse. So there's no real minimum or maximum number in my head. It's great that the UK went 81, but who knows? We could hit 100 or more. And I'm game to see how long we go.
Maybe the final question will be, how do I say this? Sorry. So you obviously don't have a lap goal in mind. So would you rather win with a low lap count or win a hard fought big lap count battle?
Big. Let's go big. All the way. Because now it's not even about winning the golden ticket. It's much more than that. It's getting your name on that board, that at-large list. And in order to do that, now you have to get a big number. So going 25, 28 isn't going to cut it like it used to. We need Ode on the map as a big number backyard, and we need two. Well, my real goal would be to get 2 Michigan girls. They don't have to be Michigan. They could just be 2 girls in the final 2. That'd be neat. And take some power broads down to Tennessee in October. So hopefully we go long and get noticed by lads. That's the goal.
Awesome. Okay, well, we will finish off with some lightning round questions. All right, so favorite band?
Casey Musgraves.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Come on, Ben and Jerry's, Jerry Garcia, duh.
Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids?
Mentos.
Porta John or Bushes?
Come on. This one's tough for me because I do have a bit of a passion for Porta Johns, but I don't actually use them. I prefer to go outside of them, but I like inspecting porta potties.
I know your Instagram is so weird when you just post photos of porta potties.
I mean, you never know what you're going to find. It's like a little present inside sometimes. You got to find your kick somewhere when you're out there for a while. But I really don't think porta potties are a great way of relieving yourself, especially at a backyard when they get full. Not good.
Last question, Little Debbie or Mr. Kipling's?
Oh.
Wait. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of Ted not giving fair representation to Kipling, okay? Nobody knows who Mr. Kipling is. And so I'm taking over these interviews. I'm taking over these interviews now. I'm going to interview you, and we're going to give fair representation. So,
I guess this is a tricky one because I'm a secret Little Debbie fan.
Get out of it. Get out of it. This is not even fair. She hasn't even tried that many things, so you can't say that.
All right, well, let's, I appreciate Sarah's time. Thank you so much, and good luck at Ode.
Well, I'm looking forward to the battle, Zach. It's time for your turn to be interviewed.
We will see.
All right.